I would tell Judah, like, please, can you please just stop ignoring him, please, so he will stop getting mad, because I didn't know what to do, because I was scared that, you know, if I intervened too much, maybe, that I would be down there too. So sometimes I just didn't say anything, because I knew that he would come back at me.
Welcome all you couch detectives out there. Join us every week for new cases, and if you're a fan of true crime, make sure you subscribe so you don't miss anything. The absolute best way to support the channel is to subscribe, and if you appreciate what we're doing here, hit that like button, let us know that we're moving in the right direction. Okay, enough rambling, let's get into it. October 11th, 2021, LaPorte, Indiana. Police respond to a 911 call from a 27-year-old Mary Yoder, who says her 4-year-old son Judah Morgan is unresponsive. He was pronounced dead at the scene. The boy's injuries were so horrid that one doctor called the blunt force trauma inflicted upon him the worst he'd seen in his entire 28-year career. Upon inspection of the Yoder home, it was found that the house was littered with garbage, rotting food, and animal feces. They also kept a lock on the refrigerator so that nobody could open it. The place was a pigsty. Rewind 4 years, and Judah Morgan was actually removed from the Yoder home when he was just 4 months old and put in foster care due to abuse. The family he was with was actually his father's cousin, Jenna Hullett. Judah spent the majority of his short life with Jenna. When he was placed back with his biological parents, Jenna warned police that Mary Yoder and Alan Morgan were abusive to the young boy, and she fought up until his last day alive to gain custody. Reports say that Judah was kept in their cold basement, mostly unclothed, with just one fuzzy blue blanket as a bed and his only source of warmth. This was punishment for him not being potty trained, which was not the case when he was in foster care, so likely this was a byproduct of the newly introduced abuse into his life. Mary Yoder was interrogated for over 6 hours in total, so for your convenience we have broken it up into 3 parts. This is part 1. The other 2 parts are linked below, and the full interrogation is also linked below for those that want to watch it all at once in its entirety. But first, let us have a moment of silence for the victim in this case.
Alright, Mary. Sorry, I was talking to my lawyer about my shit with my mom.
Is there stuff going on?
Well, me and my mom, we're going to court because we didn't get along, and I wasn't trying to let her see my oldest son because there was just a lot of tension between me and my mom, but obviously now is not the time for and well, if I'm done here.
If you're done here.
He said that he was going to call me.
Oh, the lawyer?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, basically, I'm going to ask during just this interview that we just not get on our phones.
Yeah,
that's okay.
I know.
Okay. So let's start off. We are recording. Okay.
I know.
Why don't you give me, let's start off simple with your information. Okay, like your kids' information, just what we have. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. And it's Mary.
Yes, ma'am.
Middle name?
E.
E. What's that stand for?
Elizabeth.
Elizabeth. Okay. And then last name?
Yoder. Y-O-D-E-R.
Y-O-D-E-R. Okay. And then what's your date of birth?
8/23/95.
8/23/95?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And then, what address do you live at? residence, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And then how many children do you have? And I know that's a tough question to ask. I know. Let's see if we can. Take your time.
I mean, I actually don't know how you want me to answer that question.
I wanna go how many children and their names and date of birth, okay? That you've had physically, okay? I know that's a tough question. Take your time. It's not going to be easy, this interview, okay? But we'll take our time and we'll get you through it, okay? How about you tell me your oldest name? Okay.
He's 7.
7? Okay. And what's his last name?
Yoder.
Yoder? Okay.
Mary, this certain box of tissue went somewhere, and I don't know where it's at.
I
So,
have one in my office.
is the paper
Is that
towel
okay?
doable? Okay.
Okay, and then he's 7 years old, okay?
He was born
14, okay? And then, what's your next child? Do you know how many children she has?
I'm sorry. Just
Okay.
Sure.
I want to make sure I'm not asking. I don't know how many children you have, okay?
5 in total.
5 in total. Yep, that's what I want to know. Okay.
All living at the house with you guys.
I'm sorry. These are just.
Sure.
I know
Okay.
these questions are hard. It's because a lot of the questions we're asking is because we don't know, or we need to make sure we have the right correct information if we do have some of this information. Okay, because if we're wrong, we want to be corrected. And I know it's tough.
I just never thought at 26 I would be talking to police about my son being dead. Because of his freaking dad. His name was Judah. Judah.
Does he have a middle name?
His middle name was Marshall.
Marshall. And last
2
name?
L's.
Okay. Last name Morgan, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Date of birth?
6/17/17.
Okay.
And then
Okay.
his last name is also Morgan.
Okay. And his date of birth?
19.
19.
Yes, ma'am.
And then. Okay. And Morgan.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't want his name to be that anymore.
What's his date of birth?
Of 2020.
You just had, right?
Yes, ma'am.
How do you spell that? Is he gonna have a middle name? And his date of birth, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
10.
Same as Dexter.
Oh goodness.
Yeah, so it's been a freaking weekend.
Yeah. Okay. Does he have a middle name? I didn't catch it. Okay. So we have 5 total. And then Judah all lived with you, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Have they all lived with you throughout their entire lives?
Has mostly.
Okay.
And then for 4 years, I fought with DCS
Okay.
because they thought that Alan was what apparently he is.
Okay.
And I fought and fought and fought and fought to bring them home.
Okay.
And everything was good for a while.
Has he always lived with you too?
No. He, so I had him, I'm sorry, my lips are like super dry. And
Go
it's
ahead. You
like,
can use a paper towel if you need to. And help yourself to your Sprite as well.
shit. Would I be able to let him know that I'm like,
Who's trying to
that's
contact
my
you?
attorney for my mom's court stuff?
I would just let it go to voicemail
Okay.
for now. Because the sooner we can go through this, Mary, the quicker you can get to doing some of the other things that that need to be completed today too. And we want to get you back to what you need to get done.
Okay.
You were explaining about.
So when I had him when I was young, so I wasn't exactly like there for him. So he, like, I lived with my mom, but like she was the main caretaker of him.
Okay.
And then I started dating Alan, and he stopped me from partying and stuff.
Okay.
And then my mom never liked him, and she called DCS,
Mm-hmm.
and that was kind of that for 3.5, 4 years.
Okay. So for 3.5, 4 years, did they have the DCS?
Yes.
Or your mom did?
My mom had him for like 3 years.
3 years. Okay. Okay.
And then he was removed from her house.
Okay. Who had Judah before you were
Gina, that's Alan's cousin.
Gina? What's her name? Last name?
Hullett. Hullett, I think.
L-L-U-T-T, you said?
I think so.
Where does she live at?
In like North Judson or something. Or San Pierre. Actually, I don't know because I think they lost their house, so I don't know.
Okay. Were you able to see him while they had him?
Yeah, because I had the visits and stuff.
Okay. Did Alan ever have visits with Judah?
Yeah.
Okay. Were they all supervised visits with him?
It started off that way.
Mm-hmm.
And then it kind of like progressively transitioned into like the home visits and stuff.
Okay. Did Alan ever go and try to help you fight for Judah back? Because you said you were fighting hard for him back. Did Alan help you?
He worked a lot, and he kind of doesn't talk really.
Mm-hmm.
And he doesn't like, when it came to like anything important, I was always the one to do it. Like any phone calls that needed to be made, any doctor's appointments that needed to be made,
Mm-hmm.
like anything like that, I was, kind of responsible. Like all the court dates for DCS, I was the one that went because most of the time he was at work and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Like I guess he fought in his own way,
Mm-hmm.
but he kind of just ended up snapping off on DCS.
Okay.
Every time he did talk to them, and so I kind of just handled everything. Excuse me. Handled everything myself. Always.
Mm-hmm.
So
You said he was always working. What was his?
he was a
What was his
roofer.
job? Where was he working?
A few different places.
Okay. All in LaPorte County, or?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like he was working at RL for a little while, and like that ended, in like 2018, I think. And then, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry.
It's okay. I know you're tired.
But then like he started doing like odd jobs and stuff because he didn't have like a legitimate job, I guess, anymore.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Does he still currently work then? Has he worked the last couple days or?
No, because I've been in the hospital, so he was home with the kids.
Okay. Did he drop you off at the hospital? Is that how you got there?
No. Morgan had came to pick me up.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Is that Morgan Fulton?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
And Morgan's is that a very close friend? Best friend?
We're pretty close, I would say. I mean, I considered adopting my son to her, so.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. So, what's the history? How long have you and Alan been together?
Since September 15th of 2016.
How's the relationship been with him?
At first, it was good. The first couple months. And then, we lost our apartment. And, we started staying with his mom. Found out I was pregnant with Judah. And, I don't know, I mean, it kind of went downhill pretty quick once we lost the house.
Is that due to anger issues, substance abuse?
The only thing that either of us have ever done is smoke weed. So it's not like he was on like drugs or anything, but he wasn't always the nicest, I guess.
What do you mean by that?
God, I'm so sorry. He would say some pretty hurtful things. And he had done some things to me that I should have said something about, and I didn't, because I loved him. So, I mean, there was good times, you know? Like, we were together for 6 years. So it wasn't all bad, you know? Like, there was some really good times, too. But like, before the kids came home, like, it was really bad because there was no kids to watch everything. I can't talk right now. So sometimes I got hurt. And I didn't know if it was gonna end. And I was scared. But I didn't say anything because I didn't want him to, because I knew even if I said something, he would go to jail for a little bit and then he would get bonded out. And then I'd probably get my ass beat for saying something. So I just didn't. I mean, I told a couple friends what happened, you know, and they told me to say something, and I just didn't.
Sometimes love can be a very powerful emotion that can maybe cloud what would be our logical reasoning.
But that doesn't make anything okay.
No, it doesn't.
Like, there was definitely times where I thought I was gonna die. But I loved him, so oh no. That's Gina. I feel like I need to answer that. Like, she needs to know.
We will take care of it after
We'll take care of it, yeah.
Can I just say I'll call you back, like, with a text?
No.
In fact, can we just set the phone, turn it over, set it over here,
That
so.
way you're not distracted.
I'm sorry.
No, it's
This
okay.
is just like, everything's just
No.
really overwhelming right now.
I know. We will deal with one thing at a time, because the more we deal with at once, the more you're going to be overwhelmed, okay? So that's why we're trying to cut it down to one thing at a time for you. It'll definitely help you relax a little bit more too, okay?
Okay.
What kind of things would he do to you that you thought you were going to die?
Choke me out. There is a time that he thought I was trying to cheat on him when I wasn't. But somebody that was mad at me told him that I was trying to talk to another guy. And he hit my legs really hard. And it was hard to put pants on because my legs were so bruised up. And he used to have a really big issue with self-harm. And there was a time that I tried to hurt myself, and he tried to choke me out. Like, every time, instead of trying to, like, help me and be there for me, most of the time, the reason why I felt like that was because of him anyway, but instead of, you know, trying to, like, help me, he just called me stupid and selfish and said I didn't love my kids, because if I loved my kids, I wouldn't want to die. And then I remember most of the time I would always tell him, well, if it weren't for the way that you treat me, I wouldn't want to. So there was a lot of that. He hasn't touched me in a while. I think it's been some time.
Like months or a year or?
Not since I've been pregnant with Cohen.
So at least 9 months?
At least.
You went full term?
Yeah. Well, technically, yes. He was due on the 13th. So, I mean, it's been a while, but it's...
Would he still say things to you?
Oh, yeah, every day.
What kind of things would he say to you?
So I'm at home with the kids all day by myself, and it's really hard, you know, because, you know, especially when Micah wasn't home, because he could, like, play with all the younger kids, and it was really helpful, you know. And I'm not gonna say like I was the best mom. Like, yeah, you know, like there was times where like my kids were like being nuts, or the youngest two were crying, and I'd be like, shut the hell up, you know? So like I would, and he would always hold that over my head and tell me that I didn't do shit all day. And it really hurt because every time I've been pregnant, I've busted my ass to work and clean the house and take care of the kids and do everything I can to like try and be perfect for him, because I just wanted him to love me the way that I love him. And I feel like deep down I always knew he never would, because I don't think he can love somebody the way that I want him to, I guess, like, or the way that normal people love somebody, you know?
Why do you think that is? What gives you that intuition, that feeling?
Because all he ever wanted from me was sex. Or to, you know, like sometimes he was nice to me. You know, like there was times that like he couldn't be up at the hospital with me because we didn't have anyone else to watch the kids. So I was, you know, Morgan was there with me the whole time. But I was really struggling with the fact that he wasn't there, because as much as like we had a really shitty relationship a lot of the time, I still loved him, you know, and it really hurt that he wasn't able to be up there.
Mm-hmm.
And like I showed Morgan one of the messages he had sent me, and I told her it was probably the nicest thing that I had ever said to me.
What were some of the bad things you would say to you?
Call me lazy all the time. Tell me I don't do shit all day. I'm a stupid bitch. I'm a shitty mom because I'm depressed. I'm a shitty mom because I have told the kids to shut the hell up. Or that I walk outside and take a breather when I am getting stressed out. But I should just be dealing with it, because that's my job as a mom, is to just suck it up and deal with it. I wasn't allowed to, like, any guy that I had ever been friends with, I wasn't allowed to be friends with him, because he automatically thought that I was trying to do stuff with them, or vice versa, which is not the case, because he's the only person I wanted to be with. But that wasn't the case for him, and I know it wasn't. He can say it was, but it wasn't, and I had proof that it wasn't, you know.
So when you say that, do you think he was cheating on you?
I don't think like he had physically cheated on me. I don't know. I don't think he would. I don't know, but it would like online a lot, like like Snapchat, like buying pictures and stuff of girls and whatnot on Snapchat and stuff, and that really hurt because I was pregnant, so I was really self-conscious as it was.
Yeah. When it comes to the physical stuff, other than just choking you, what else would he do?
He'd punch me, poke me really hard.
And how often would that happen?
I mean, it wasn't like a, you know, like once a week, twice a week thing. Like it just it all really depended on his mood, you know, like if he had a bad day at work, if he didn't have any weed, because literally like weed was the only thing that kept him calm. And he didn't have any this weekend.
So if he wasn't calm, his demeanor was violent?
Not always violent, but like he was kind of just an ass. Like, he was just mean, you know, like, he was just very impatient with stuff. Or like, if I would ask him a question, why the fuck would you ask a stupid question like that?
Mm-hmm.
You know, like, I was just asking him a question, like, I'm sorry. He's like, well, don't ask dumb questions.
Mm.
And I'm like, stuff like that made me just feel just really stupid, because a lot of times, like, he would do that in front of, like, the kids.
Mm-hmm.
And that really bothered me, because I don't want my kids to see that, and I don't want my sons to grow up and be like him, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And I have all boys. And, like, there was times where, like, we would get into an argument, and he would call and be like, didn't your mom say this? Or, you know, something like, if I thought I had forgot, like, if I had forgotten something or something, like, he would call and be like, didn't your mom say this? Or didn't she do this or forget to do this or whatever? And I was like, don't bring him into this. He doesn't need to be a part of our arguments. Like, that's not fair to him. He's 7 years old, and he'd be like, just shut up then.
Mm.
Like, stop trying to turn everything into an argument. Like, I just want to know what's going on. Like, I'm just trying to have a conversation with you.
Would there ever be times you had normal conversations?
Yeah.
But most of the time it was him being...
I mean, I wouldn't say most of the time at all. You know, it was kind of like, I wouldn't say half and half either.
Just depended on his mood then, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah. How did he treat the kids?
Well, I mean, usually it was great, you know, like, for a really, honestly, like, it started, like, well, he started getting frustrated, like, a couple months ago, because, so Gina had came over, and Judah had climbed in her car and took her keys out of the ignition and took off. Like, he had gotten out the car and, like, ran off with them. And I was like, that's not okay. You can't be encouraging him to steal keys out of the ignition of a car. And I got really irritated, and I kind of started just ignoring them. Well, when Gina and Phil stopped coming over, Judah started acting up, and he started, like, peeing himself and pooping his pants, and he was fully potty trained, so it was frustrating, you know. And then he started ignoring Alan, which is what really pissed him off. And I guess the last couple weeks, he was just, I guess, fed up with it. And since he was ignoring people, he would send Judah downstairs. And a lot of times he would hit him, and I would go down there and try and tell him to stop. And he would just back up, go away. And I would tell him, like, you need to quit, dude. Like, you need to stop. Like, this shit's not okay. Like, you need to stop. He was like, just shut the fuck up and go upstairs. And then there was times where I would get frustrated, and I would tell Judah, like, can you please just stop ignoring him, please, so he will stop getting mad. Because I didn't know what to do. Because I was scared that, you know, if I intervened too much, maybe, that I would be down there too. So sometimes I just didn't say anything, because I knew that he would come back at me.
How often would this happen to Judah?
Like probably every other day for the last like couple weeks. I mean, there's a couple days where he started behaving like really, really well. He was awesome, and he didn't pee or poop or anything. He was going to the bathroom like he was supposed to, and you know. And then so like the rule is like if you're in trouble, like if you're not following rules, we're not going to give you like sweets or like Hawaiian punch and stuff. And the other kids got Hawaiian punch because he had an accident, and he started doing it again, like doing the ignoring people stuff, and he got mad, and he basically just kept him downstairs, and then he would bring him upstairs, have him try and go to the bathroom, and if he refused to go to the bathroom, which he did a lot or just ignored him, he would take him back downstairs and just kind of have him sit down there.
What's down in that basement?
All kinds of shit, just random shit. We never, until he started going down there, we never really went down there because it was the landlord's stuff, so he kind of just...
So it's not like a living area or anything like that?
There's just a bunch of random shit down there.
And when you would hit Judah, where and how much would he?
Sometimes I didn't see because sometimes I wasn't down there. Like sometimes he would go downstairs and I would be like upstairs with the other kids, and you know, I wouldn't really know where Alan went until I heard like and then I would assume that he was downstairs, and I would open the door and try and tell him that's enough, and he wouldn't listen to me, and I would go downstairs and try and stop him, and he didn't. Sometimes he would stop, sometimes he wouldn't.
For how long would this happen every time he would go down?
Couple minutes.
Would Alan come back up and leave Judah down there?
If he didn't want to go to the bathroom, yeah, he would keep him down there. Or if he would ignore Alan when he was asking him questions.
How many times a day would this happen?
Once or twice, maybe. Usually only once, but...
And for a couple minutes at a time? Would it last longer than a couple minutes?
Not usually, because I got, like, I couldn't handle it. And I'd go down there and be like, okay, come on, dude, this shit's ridiculous. Like, you need to fucking stop.
Mm-hmm.
Because it was scary.
Where would he hit him at?
His arms, his legs, his back, his chest, pretty much wherever. Sometimes he'd kick him. Sometimes he'd choke him. And there was so many times that I tried to pull his hands off of him, or... But it's like when he got like that, like he couldn't control himself. And it was scary because, like, I was pregnant and I was trying to, like, stop him. And there was, like, a couple times where he went to try and hit him and he almost hit me in my stomach, so I just kind of backed up. And I told him to stop, but he just...
Would he be standing or
No.
sitting in a chair or laying down? Or, I'm sorry, Judah, would he be laying down? Would he be sitting in a chair?
It kind of depended. Like, there's no chairs down there, so he was either standing up talking to him or sitting down.
Judah would be?
Yes.
Standing up or
Sitting down.
sitting down on the floor?
Yeah. And Alan, when he was really frustrated with him, he would make him sleep downstairs.
Was there a bed down there?
There wasn't a bed, but there was like a fluffy blanket that we had
that he would lay on.
Yeah. It was probably like the softest one I could find. It's like a Sherpa blanket. But.
And Alan would make Judah sleep down there if he was really frustrated with him.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I know that it bothered because he could hear it. And there was a couple times where I just kind of grabbed and tried to like cover his ears, and because I tried to do something and he wasn't gonna stop, and I was too scared to like try and intervene because I didn't want him to accidentally like hurt my unborn child, And I know I should have said something.
But did Alan, why did you not say anything?
Because I knew he would try and hurt me.
Would he say that to you?
I mean, he had.
What would he say?
He said, well, you know that if you say anything, you're going to lose all your kids and you're never going to see them again. So I would suggest you just keep your stupid mouth shut.
Would Alan threaten you or any of the other children?
Not the kids, no. But me, all the time.
Would he threaten you about this incident or these incidents with Judah?
Not like directly, no, but it was more of like the generalized thing. Like I just said, like with the, like if you say anything, you're going to lose all your kids and you're not going to have a house and you're not going to have shit. And that's, I feel like, honestly, why I didn't, because he was all I had, him and my kids were, I don't really have friends like that, like, me and my family don't really get along.
And you guys don't get along because of Alan? Or did you get along?
I mean, me and my mom have always had a really shitty relationship. But ever since I was with Alan, it's been worse.
Would Alan do this same thing that he would do to Judah, to any of the other children?
Mm-hmm.
Why do you think he just did it just to do Judah?
I honestly couldn't tell you, because if it was like a few months ago, like anyone would say that they were like the closest, Judah was like his little mini me.
So outside of disciplining Judah and taking him downstairs and hurting him, he was close with Judah?
He was.
What would they do? Why would you say he was closer with Judah than the other children as a mini-me?
I don't... See, Alan never really talked about how he felt. So, it's hard to really say.
Okay.
Because he was not like an emotional person. He didn't talk about like anything,
Okay.
like when it came to emotions and how he feels. He doesn't, like, that's not how he is. He wants to be tough, He doesn't want to come off as a pussy, I guess,
Would he always, in his emotions, from what you observed, what were his emotions most of the time? Were they mostly anger and losing his temper?
It was like...
Or were they happy, or it just kind of...
It just kind of depends. Like, and honestly, like, he never, like, drank. Like, he didn't drink at all. So he wasn't, like, an alcoholic. But, like, weed was literally the only thing that kept him even slightly okay.
Okay.
And when we got to the point where we were broke, and we couldn't get anything, he kind of started to get frustrated because he was stressing out because he didn't have any weed. And I mean, like, I understand to an extent because it helps me too. But at the same time, it's like, I don't like go nuts because I don't have weed. Like, it sucks because, I mean, it helps with my depression and anxiety and stuff.
Mm-hmm. When did it start that you said broke? When did it start that it was getting difficult to start buying weed?
I mean, it happened like every once in a while, like whenever we ran out of money.
Okay.
Or like, so he had gotten in trouble in August because he decided he wanted to drive my car without a license. And he was in a police chase for like 20 minutes. And it was because he had weed on him and he didn't want to go to jail. Which my car got totaled, and it didn't really make sense to me. Like, either way, you were going to go to jail. You had weed in the car, so you should have just stopped. And, you know, it was a joke to him, you know, like, that I feel like, because he got bonded out so quick, he didn't take it seriously, and, like...
Was that his first time in jail?
Oh, no. Absolutely not.
What's he been in jail for before?
Like, as far as I know, everything with vehicles. Like, just, like, he's never, like, stolen a vehicle or anything that I know of, but it's always, like, speeding or, like, driving without a license. I know he got put in jail for something, like, with his ex, but I don't remember exactly. Like, he said that what happened was, like, they were drinking or whatever, and she tried to, like, come at him with a knife or something, and he poured alcohol on her, and that's why he got a battery charge. But I don't really know if that's, you know, what happened. That's what he said happened. But after everything that, you know, I've been through with him, I don't know if I necessarily believe that.
Yeah.
Especially after now.
Yeah.
But, like, I don't know. It's just, like, over the last, like, couple weeks, like, and it's not even that we've been out of weed. Like, he just... like, it's, I don't know, like, something was really just off with him for the last couple weeks, you know?
What do you mean? Can you elaborate on
Like, he just seemed, like, really just depressed and upset and off, and then, like, every time that, like, Judah frustrated him, it's like, it just, like, escalated because, I don't know, like, I don't know.
Would any of the other children frustrate him?
I mean, yeah, but, I mean, kids frustrate people, you know? If you have kids, they're gonna frustrate you, but not like that.
Not to the extent of Judah.
No.
And he never explained why.
Alan never explained why?
Yeah.
Because, okay, the best that I could say that he's ever said to me was, like, he knows better than to go to the bathroom on himself, and it's bullshit that he ignores people. And, you know, it is frustrating because you want to have a conversation, but, like, the difference between me and him is, like, I would go down there because I wanted to stop it, you know? So, like, if Alan was upstairs or something, I would go down there and be like, Judah, please, like, I really want your dad to chill, and I really, like, I want this to stop. So I really want you to work with me here and go to the bathroom and don't ignore your dad, please, because I know you don't like this and I don't like this either.
What would Judah say?
He would always tell me that he would always tell me that he didn't know how to stop. And I think that's another thing that pissed him off because, like, he was fully potty trained. And then when I stopped letting Gina come over, he started, like, doing that. And at first, like, it wasn't, you know, Alan didn't get this pissed. But then it just got worse and worse and worse and worse, and I didn't know what to do at that point, you know? Like, there was, I mean, obviously
And Judah is 4, correct? 2017?
Yeah.
Before. Did Alan understand that at 4 years old, that he's 4 years old and maybe just struggling with potty training again?
I mean, I feel like there was points, like, at the very beginning when he started doing it, like, he was understanding about it, but then it got to the point where it was just pissing him off because he kept doing it, and the only times that he would do it would be, like, when he wasn't getting what he wanted, or, like, got a Go-Gurt or something, and he wanted a Go-Gurt, but we told him no. And, like, I mean, yeah, we gave a lot of snacks and Go-Gurts and stuff, but that was because he's teething, and, you know, it's a lot easier to appease with food and juice and stuff like that. And, you know, like, he didn't like when he was not getting what the other kids did. So he kind of looked at it, okay, well, if they're doing this, then I might as well just, you know. And I asked him before, like, why? Like, why do you ignore him? Mm-hmm. Like, I really just, I want to know, like, I don't understand why. Because I know, like, I know what's happening is wrong, and I'm trying to stop it, buddy, but I can't if you won't talk to me, you know?
Mm-hmm. And would he explain why he would ignore him?
No, he would just say he can't stop, or he doesn't know how. And I didn't know how to help. Like, I didn't know what to do. I didn't know what to say.
And how many months or weeks has Alan been doing this to Judah then?
As far as, like, see, it wasn't always, like, the aggressive stuff. You know, like, he would have him go stand down in the basement just because it was, like, dark-ish. And, like, he wanted him to, like, learn, I guess. Like, he thought that if he had him stand down there for 5 minutes, you know, little kids are scared of monsters or whatever. So I think that maybe he thought that if he had him go stand down there for 5 minutes, that maybe, you know, he would stop doing the stuff. But he didn't.
Scare tactic, in a sense.
And then, I mean,
that he would want
maybe
to scare him out of it. And then it turned into violence, turned into the aggressiveness.
Yeah.
When did that start? How many months ago?
A couple weeks ago.
A couple weeks ago. Is about the same time that Alan's been acting funny?
Yeah. Okay. And it's like, I know he's not on drugs. Like, he, you know, he's very, besides weed, like, that's all he ever did. Mm-hmm. And it bothers me because, you know, he always talked, you know, when he talked about his dad, mm-hmm. his dad passed away when he was young. Mm-hmm. But his dad was a very violent person. Mm-hmm. And he always, you know, would tell me about, like, not always, but, like, he told me that his dad had hit them with, like, 2x4s and just beat the shit out of them. And there was multiple times where I was like, why would you be like your dad? And that pissed him off, and then he came at me.
Would he say why?
Why?
Why he would be like his dad? Did he ever answer your question?
No, because talking about his dad just pissed him off. Bringing up his dad pissed him off.
And then he would,
like, he would, like, walk super fast at me. The fuck did you just say about my dad? Mm-hmm. You don't know my fucking dad, so shut the fuck up. But it's like, and he would get really upset when I said, do you really want the boys to grow up mm-hmm. and be like you are? Oh, shut the fuck up. Mm-hmm. It was always the same thing.
Mary, I got a question.
Yes.
And it stems back to a statement you made earlier in this interview. Early on, you mentioned that you had to fight with CPS for Judah.
Well, for really all of them. And that was because my mom didn't like Alan and she didn't want me to be with him. And she wanted Micah to live with her. So she called DCS and said that Alan had hit him, which that's not what happened. And I even told DCS that was solely because I was playing rough with him and I was playing too rough. And, so what had happened was I was going like this and I was trying to make him mad, but he was too, and I was playing too rough. And I had accidentally left a mark on his face when I was doing that. And my mom thought that Alan had hit him on purpose. And I tried to explain, no, that was me. That's my fault. I was too rough. I fucked up. And nobody believed me.
So
everybody thought it was Alan. So for 4 years, it was just a constant fight. And, nothing ever happened during that whole time, we would get phone calls after phone calls after phone calls made on us. And they would check the kids every single time. And there would not be one mark on them because we didn't do anything.
how many times I'm sorry.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, you finished your statement.
It got exhausting.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know why it went from, everybody is in a happy family and everything's okay. And we finally have our family back to all of this. So, I really don't know what changed. I don't know if it was me, maybe, that bothered him and he took it out on Judah. I don't know if something triggered him. I don't know. I mean, it's almost since, the whole car situation, he's been really weird. He never said anything like this, but it seemed like he thought he was a badass because he raced the cops, And he for a week and a half, 2 weeks after that happened, I'd sit there and be like, dude, you screwed us over because now we don't have a vehicle. We literally couldn't go anywhere for 2 months. We couldn't go to the store, we couldn't do anything, so we were stuck. But he would do this, he would say this thing where he'd be fast as fuck, boy. And I told him it wasn't funny. And I'd get pissed at him for it because it's not funny. You blew the motor on my damn car that my grandma got for me so that we could have a vehicle. Mm-hmm. And I was pissed, and I'm still pissed about that because that car's done. Mm-hmm. And I don't know what changed.
Where'd you guys get the red vehicle at? The red van?
We bought that in Michigan City.
Okay.
My grandma also bought that.
How recent was that you guys were able to get that?
May or June, maybe. Okay. I think.
Yeah. Did you have a follow-up question?
Yeah. So you were describing some of the tactics that was utilized by Alan with the punishment for Judah ignoring him or not following a potty break. Were there other forms besides the scare tactics, making him sleep in the basement, stand in the basement, being struck? Was there anything else? I'm assuming that there was verbal abuse.
I mean, yeah. He'd call him stupid. I mean, I can't sit there and say that I didn't, like, say mean things too, because I was frustrated, and I called him stupid a couple times too. So it's not like, you know, I'm perfect in the matter, you know, because I got frustrated, and I was like, why can't you just stop being stupid and listen to your dad and answer it?
Well, what would Alan say? Because we know.
I hate you. I wish Gina would have kept you. You're the most retarded kid I've ever met in my life. And shit like that. It is just being, there's no other word for it than just saying that he was just being mean.
And Gina, refresh my memory.
Gina's Alan's cousin.
Yeah, this is Mary.
Right.
Oh, Gina what? Oh.
Yeah,
I see where you're going.
How Gina fits into this dynamic with the family dynamic.
She's Alan's cousin, and she was his placement when DCS was going on. And I think a lot of the thing that pissed Alan off about Gina and Phil is because he called Gina mom and called Phil dad. And that really bothered him. Because I don't think that Judah ever stopped thinking about them, you know? And I think that really bothered him because he wanted his son, like that's his son, you know? Mm-hmm. And because of, I mean, maybe I'm incorrect, but I feel like because he missed them and he wanted to see them, he thought that maybe, you know, if he was peeing himself and stuff, that we would just say screw it and send him back to Gina and Phil. Mm-hmm. And it frustrated me because I felt like maybe at times, like maybe I should, you know, let him go over there. But at the same time, I was frustrated because I felt like if I sent him back over there, then his behavior was just gonna, you know, get worse. And I didn't know what to do about that. Mm-hmm. And I also didn't want to piss Alan off. Because there was times where I considered, like, kind of, like, messaging her and having her sneak over the house, but Alan would know. So I didn't.
When was the last time that he was there with Gina, meaning Judah?
Well, Gina had visited in, like, May, maybe the beginning of June at the latest, I don't know.
What was the duration when he was there for? Because
since he was 3 months old.
By the placement of CPS?
Since he was 3 months old. So, I mean, it's not really his fault that he looked at them as his parents. I mean, yeah, it hurt. And it upset me too because I never got to really be his mom, and he never looked at me like his mom. Ever. And, you know, lately, you know, I thought maybe it would be best if I found, you know, because I didn't agree with, you know, him going to Gina's, but I felt like maybe I should find an adoptive family for him as well, because I wanted him to be out of the house because I didn't want this to continue, but I felt like he deserved more. Mm. And I don't know.
When was Judah placed back with you guys full time? In May?
I believe so.
Okay.
So Mary, with some of these other, you know, these various tactics for discipline, was there any point in time that you were aware that Judah had been bound
I know he had,
whether by rope or tape or...
So he had went upstairs and stole a Go-Gurt out of the fridge. And Alan got upset about that, so he had taped his hands together and had put him up against
How recent?
one of the poles within the last week. I told him it was too much, and he said no, it's not, because he thinks he can steal shit out of our fridge.
When's the last time you saw Judah?
Before I came to the hospital,
What time did you come to the hospital?
at maybe 3:30, I think.
PM?
Yes.
On 10:10?
No. Wait, what? No, it was,
So you came the day before?
yeah, because yes.
On Saturday.
I'm sorry.
Sad. No, it's okay. I'm just trying to get the dates right. So you were there 10:09?
Yes.
Okay. And then what time was born?
At 12:45 in the morning.
Okay. So were you in active labor when you left?
Well, so I had gotten my membrane stripped on Thursday,
Okay.
and I had read that usually, if there's not, labor signs within 48 hours, you should probably go in, especially if you're not feeling anything, because you didn't, want to risk infection. So
Right.
I called up Morgan, and I was like, I think we should just try and go in and see, because I don't like that he's not moving.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Go ahead. Sorry, I wanted to get those terms right.
So you gave birth early Sunday morning on the 10th.
Yes, sir.
How did you find out, in fast forwarding, how did you find out about what occurred?
Alan had called me, freaking out.
Do you remember about what time that was?
I don't know off the top of my head. I don't know.
Okay.
Maybe 1:30 maybe. That's a total guesstimate though. I don't actually know.
That's fair.
I don't even know what time it is right now, so I'm completely out of it. But he called me, and I immediately didn't know what to do, because he said, Mary, I don't know what to do. And I said, Alan, what the fuck did you do? And he said his temperature is really low, and I can't get it back up, and I've been trying to do CPR on him for an hour. And he said he fucked up and he didn't know what to do. And I told him he needed to call somebody. And he said, I'm not calling anybody because I'm going to go to prison. I'm like, Alan, you need to fucking call somebody before something happens. You need to call somebody, because he said, he had said that his heart was still beating. And I told him to call, so many times. And Alan wouldn't call, and I don't know why I started praying instead of calling an ambulance. But then I got up after I prayed, and I went and told Morgan that I didn't know what to do, and I was freaking out. And she was like, we need to call now.
Was Morgan at the hospital, or did you?
Yes.
She was at the hospital? Okay.
She's been there. She was the only one there with me the whole time. The entire time. She was the one that picked me up from the house, brought me all the way to the hospital, and she stayed the whole time. Because either nobody else could, or nobody else would. And I feel like I could have done more, because I had called him right before he was born. And I said, can you please find a ride up here? Or find somebody that can come sit with the kids, because I really need you up here. You know, like, I've had all of our children with you in the room, and I really need you here. You know, can you please try? And he didn't try at all. And I didn't try. And maybe if I did try and find somebody, then maybe this wouldn't have happened. But then again, I could have said something before, and I didn't. And I failed my son.
Have you communicated with Alan any other times since that contact?
No, sir. The last time I talked to him, I told him, well, after that phone call, and I called somebody, like I told Morgan, and she called, and I called as well. And I called him, I was like, listen, I'm sorry. I love you, and I will always have love for you, okay? But he needs to be okay. And if there's something that seriously wrong, I'm sorry, but I already called. He's like, are you fucking kidding me? I'm gonna go to prison. I'm like, you know what, Alan? I'm sorry. And I've never had the balls to say this to him before. But something in my heart didn't feel right. And I said, you know what? I'm not fucking choosing you over my kids. But when I finally had the balls to say it, it was too late. And now he's gone. Because I didn't fucking say anything. So really it is my fault because I was too scared to defend my own child because I didn't want to get hurt. And I was selfish for that. And that was wrong. And now my child is gone because of me, really. Because I could have done something. I could have done more than just say, stop, that's not okay. I could have done more than try to pull him off of him, you know. I could have done something, you know, and I didn't. What else did Alan say? Anything else that we're missing?
Did he elaborate on anything that occurred beyond?
He didn't say what he had done. He just said that, well, okay, he had said something along the lines of that, because I had told him earlier, I was like, if he's making you that angry, you need to just ignore him. Like, leave him alone. Stop bothering him. Leave him alone. And he said that he had brought him a sandwich. And when he went back down to check on him, he said that it seemed like he had choked on a sandwich because there was like breadcrumbs or something in his nose or something. And he said that he was trying to help him, but he couldn't. So I don't really know what happened. I don't know if maybe he did choke on the sandwich. I don't know. I don't know if it was because of something Alan did, because I wasn't there. Sure. And all the other kids were asleep.
Yeah.
Good.
But you weren't there. I mean, we're just asking like what he said, you know, what could have happened.
I know he didn't mean to do it. You know, like, he's got anger issues. And I will never fucking forgive him for this. I don't think he meant to do it. I really don't. I think that it was I think that he realized he fucked up, whether it was because he did something to him to hurt him, or because he did choke and he really didn't know what to do, you know. But he, sorry.
No, it's okay. When earlier, you said he went down to check on him. Do you know how long Alan had him in the basement?
Well, yesterday, or I don't remember what day it was, but I had seen Judah sitting on the couch in the living room watching TV with the rest of the kids.
Is that before you left?
No.
Before. Oh.
I was at the hospital.
How'd you see him?
On the security cameras.
Oh, okay. Okay.
The cameras inside your home.
Yeah. But he never would do anything in front of the cameras.
Was there a camera down in the basement?
No. There was one in the living room, one in the kids' room, and there were the ones that slept in the kids' room. And then slept out in the living room because he overheated or overheats really easily, and we had the AC unit right there, and the TV was out in the living room, so he was out there. So we had the living room one, the driveway, the porch, and the kids' room.
So this camera system, is this a cloud-based system? Is this something that you guys have, like a DVR at the house?
Yeah, it's like a old thing that we had bought off of Facebook or something.
Okay, but it's got like a recorder that you guys have at the house, and doesn't just, I'm assuming it just runs on a loop.
I think. I don't,
Okay.
I'm usually really good with tech stuff, but I don't really know.
Can you both access it from your phone?
I had just set up his where he could like access it.
So is it on the cloud base then too? If you can access it from your phone, is it an
It
app?
might be. I mean, it's an app, yeah, but I don't, like, I've tried to go click things before. Sometimes it'll work and sometimes it won't. It really depends on, like the driveway and the porch would go off constantly. Like, anytime there was, like, a bug that flew by, it would go off.
What's the name of the app, if you can recall?
Swan.
Swan, like SWA.
And then,
And you guys, so who would be the account holder with?
I had signed it up with my email address.
What is your email address?
It's at gmail.com. Like, I'm not going to sit here and say I'm fully innocent. Like, I wasn't the best mom, you know? Like, there was times where, you know, I'd get frustrated and I would curse at him. And I would, you know, say mean things. Like, I'd call him stupid because I was frustrated. And, you know, there was times where, like, I mean, like, he would make me mad or something, and I would, don't do that stupid shit, or, like, watch your mouth, or, you know, like, just pop him on the back of the head, but I wouldn't, like, punch him. But even still, like, that's not something I should have done.
Did Alan tell you when he took him down to the basement, since you last saw Judah on the camera?
No. I don't know what time he took him down there.
He didn't converse with you via text message when any of that was going on?
No, because he had made dinner, and then he had all the kids in bed by 8:15 that night. And I remember I had asked him how the hell he had managed to get all the kids in bed and asleep, because I struggled to do that. So, and he was like, oh, I got it. Like, you know, and they were all like, looked super comfy and passed out. So you know.
And that was the night of the 9th or the 10th?
The 9th.
The 9th. And that was about the last time you saw Judah then, on the phone, correct? Or did you see him playing anywhere else, or?
Just in the room.
Okay. But Alan never said anything after that, since the 9th.
Well, he had told me that he had brought him back downstairs but I don't remember, like, I was on the phone with him when he said it. I don't remember exactly what time it was, or I'm assuming that, because he had said that the reason he had brought him back downstairs is because he had threw up all over the other bedroom that we had. So not our room, not the kids' bedroom, but the other bedroom, which is where, when he was behaving, that was his room.
And do you know what day that was he said that? What time? Or close to what day he said that, or what time that he took him back downstairs?
See, I don't know if he had slept in there all night, like in the room upstairs all night, or if, like, I don't really know. That much wasn't really clear to me, because I had asked, because he had said something about he had brought him back downstairs. I was like, why? What now? And he had said that he had threw up, like, all over the spare room, and
But you don't remember when he took him down?
not off the top of my head, no.
Was it within the last day or so?
Yes.
Okay. And did he say anything after that about
Him, no, not until what happened.
you got the call? Okay. What has occurred at the hospital since you've been there? Any other phone calls that Alan has made to you, or said anything, or explained to you, or talked about Judah at all to you?
No, we didn't really talk about him, just video games, and he wanted me to watch something that Ben Shapiro had posted.
You said earlier you were contemplating about having his adoptive parents maybe take Judah. When did that thought and that discussion come about?
I mean, Alan didn't necessarily agree with that, because he felt like they would spoil him. And I was like, okay, but they're good people, like, that. I don't think that would be a bad choice,
When was that conversation that you had with Alan?
like a month ago,
Okay.
at least.
You didn't have it recently?
I mean, and
Have you had that conversation with anybody else recently?
well, I had talked to Morgan about it, because we were talking about how I was debating whether I wanted to still continue with placing, because it just got really hard for me to think about letting him go.
Yeah.
And I had brought up to her, to be honest with you, like, I felt like maybe you guys would be better suited to. And then this happened.
Did you bring that up to her at the hospital?
Yes. This was at like midnight last night.
Oh,
And then Alan had called me at like 1:30. So I don't know if it was like the fact that I had just been talking about Judah, and then he called me freaking out.
Yeah.
And then I prayed. And I begged God to not let anything bad happen, because I was scared. But I automatically thought the worst, because he was freaking out. He was saying he was cold, and like he said, his temperature was like 91, and he got it up to 94, and then it went back down to 91, and he didn't know what to do.
Did he say how long you'd been down there?
He said that he had been trying to give him CPR for like an hour.
Did Alan say he went down there to check on him after he gave the sandwich?
Yes.
So, did he say when he gave him a sandwich?
He didn't say what time, no. He just said that, well, you had told me to ignore him. I didn't mean, like, that's not what I meant. I meant just leave him alone. Like, don't bother him. Like, just don't touch him. Just let him be. you know?
Did you know he was in the basement at that time? Or
I didn't know if he had maybe brought him up from the meal, you know? And then he told me that he had brought him a sandwich down there.
how long in your mind do you think that was between the time he told you that he took him downstairs to the time he brought him a sandwich?
The time he took him downstairs.
The time
I think he had taken him downstairs like in the morning sometime, maybe. Like before lunch, I think.
Yesterday.
Oh yeah, it would be yesterday, yeah.
So you think Alan brought Judah downstairs yesterday morning is when the last time you think he told you?
I know that he said that he went back downstairs because he had puked all over the bed.
Okay.
But I don't know, like...
And then when it comes to the food, the sandwich, it was sometime in the afternoon that he took him a sandwich?
From what I understand, yes.
Okay. And then you checked on him again last night?
Yes. After...
Is it normal to keep him downstairs more than 24 hours?
He has.
What's the longest time frame you think he's gone?
Like 2 days. Like he would bring him upstairs to go to the bathroom every couple hours and try and get him to go to the bathroom. And then he would just ignore him, and he got mad at him, and he said, fine, then take your ass back downstairs.
Mary, do you know what time you were supposed to get back over to the hospital?
No, sir.
They're supposed to call me.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think what we're going to do right now is just kind of sit tight at this point, and we'll get you back over there. Okay.
Okay. That's fine.
Is there anything else we can get you right now to make you as comfortable as possible?
We do have donuts if you're still up, if you're hungry by chance.
No, I just want to see my kids.
Okay. Well, let's make a couple of phone calls here.
Yeah.
Okay. Again, we ask that you stay off your phone. Okay. And then we'll go from there. Okay.
So I can't, like, call my dad or anybody? I can't, like...
As Detective Weimer explained, there's certain things to keep an integrity of an investigation. And while we're in the initial stages of it, we want to limit, and this goes for anybody that's involved. So it just has to do with the integrity of things. Because I know, you know that everybody's going to want to be asking you questions and is going to want information. So I would just relax for a minute. Let's focus on getting you back to the hospital, okay? So you can do what you need to do there.
Okay.
Okay. Hey, everything's.
Yeah. This is just a lot and overwhelming, so we're just trying to slow it down.
You're exhausted. You're tired. You've been up.
I've slept 4 hours since 5:30 on Saturday.
Yeah.
Like literally a total of 5 hours, maybe, since 5:30 on Saturday morning.
Oh my goodness.
So this is not what I wanted to have to deal with ever in my life. And now it's just, I'm like so out of it, and I'm just really tired, and now I'm just stressed because I'm worried about my kids, you know? Yeah, I came straight here with you, so I haven't been able to call and get some more answers on them, okay?
And let us make a phone call and figure that stuff out too, and we can give you that information.
Okay.
Okay. You sure you don't want a donut?
I mean, that's what we have to eat.
If
you get hungry, please let us know, because we have a few out there that we're willing to share for sure.
I just feel sick, honestly.
Okay.
Like I've felt sick since.
Yeah, that's a lot of your emotions going up and down, okay? So drink your Sprite. If you need anything, we'll be floating around right here, okay?
Do you know about, like, how long until I'll be able to go see him?
See who?
Oh,
that's phone calls that we're going to make, that we're going to try and figure out for you.
No one's called me yet, but they're probably Still waiting.
Let's get some of these other processes going, and we'll let you know, okay?
Okay. Oh, as soon as we got answers, I'll pop my head in, okay? Okay.
Hi, Mary. I'm Reed with DCS.
Hi.
All right. So, we did receive a report regarding what's going on. I'm so sorry for your loss. Sincerely, I'm so sorry. So just a
I
part.
should have said something.
Okay. So I have,
The drug test.
and this is just a part of the procedure. So we're not accusing you
I've
of
been
anything.
through it so many times that
Right. Are you willing to screen for me today?
yes, absolutely. I probably may fail for some THC.
Okay.
I mean, it's been a little while since I've smoked, but I may fail. But
I'm not really worried about marijuana. Do you smoke around the children?
no, never.
Is there a sober caregiver?
Yes.
Okay. And who's usually the caregiver if you decide to smoke?
Well, I don't. So basically, what happened was, if we did smoke, it was either outside or in our room, which was fully closed off from the kids. I mean, sometimes we would try and walk in, but most of the time, you know, that wasn't the case. But I was basically the, you know, main person, because whenever he got home from work, he just wanted to go straight in the room and smoke.
Okay.
And he would always want me to come in there with him, and, you know, I would for a second, because, I mean, I'm not gonna lie, I did smoke while I was pregnant, but I literally couldn't eat or drink anything. So, like, when he would come home from work, I'd feel sick all day. So, yeah.
Well, thank you for being honest.
I, like, any time that there was any kind of noise, I would try and keep it to, like, 5 minutes, and then I would usually try and go, like, sit out with the kids, play with them, you know.
All right, girlie, what is your date of birth?
2395.
Oh, that's my birthday too, but I'm a little older than you.
Your birthday's August 23rd.
Yep.
Are my kids okay?
Yes, so,
Just, you know,
he has no idea, and I'm not the person, we are not saying anything. That's not our place.
Okay.
He has no idea.
poor baby.
None of the kids do. They were all asleep.
I'm glad they were asleep, because I was afraid that I saw.
Nope, he was in his bed. He said he woke up when he heard law enforcement, and then he saw the lights with the ambulance. And as soon as they made contact, they took the kids and put them in with the paramedics in the ambulance.
What about? Well, they said on the news that he was already gone when they got there.
Yeah, but the children didn't see anything. He didn't disclose anything. He didn't hear anything. As far as he knows, that Judah's still alive. He doesn't
He's
know what's
scared,
going on.
probably.
He's being strong for he's looking after, he's being a big brother.
He's amazing.
He's very, very smart.
He's very smart.
You're doing something right. All right.
Am I, though? Like, if I would have just had the balls and not been scared of him and said something, he might still be here, you know?
And you know how to do these?
Yeah, too well. Dealt with it for 4 years.
Okay, and then Alan, he smokes marijuana as well?
Yes.
Is that the only substance
Yes.
he uses? Do you know the last time he used?
Who knows?
Okay. Oh, shit.
My parents should be coming back into town soon, so
Okay. Did you receive prenatal care with Judah?
Yes.
Okay. And then when did you start prenatal care?
I couldn't really tell you because it's been so long.
Was it like as soon as you found out you went?
As far as I remember.
Okay. It wasn't like you never went or you went like 2 times?
It was like that with
Okay.
honestly, but I already dealt with that situation.
Oh, sorry. And then sign and date here.
So where do we go from here?
So the kids currently are with my coworker. They're getting a skeletal scan at Franciscan just to make sure that they don't have any injuries.
Okay.
I disclosed that, there wasn't inappropriate discipline with them until we kind of get this resolved.
You said there was?
There was not. He never indicated that there was physical abuse on him. So we're just going to do a skeletal scan. They are detained as of right now, just until we cover all bases.
When will I be able to see them?
We can set up something soon. Let me give you my card. Is there anything else that was just any symptoms that you can think of with Judah? Any difficulty breathing, fussiness or crying? Was anyone sick?
I mean,
around
he was
him?
crying because of Alan.
Okay, but nothing that beyond that.
He just didn't seem like he wanted to go to the bathroom. And I don't know if he needed to go or not, but I couldn't really... Alan didn't really want me near him because I was the one that was trying to stop him from being so angry. I mean, I wasn't always the best mom, I said things to him that I shouldn't have said.
Mm-hmm. Could Judah communicate what was express why he couldn't use the bathroom?
He said, I remember, and it pissed Alan off because he asked him why he didn't pee like he was supposed to. He pissed his pants.
Mm-hmm.
And he told Alan because he didn't want to, and Alan slapped him across his face.
Okay. So he didn't want to use the bathroom, or he didn't want to use the toilet?
He said he didn't want to use the toilet.
Okay.
And that pissed Alan off because that was really the whole reason why Alan was frustrated in the first place, is because he wanted him to use the bathroom like he was supposed to.
Okay.
And I get it that it's frustrating. We didn't really have the money to get pull-ups for both of them, but I would have rather just put him in freaking pull-ups, man.
Okay. Did he have any medical conditions that he was diagnosed with?
No.
Allergies, asthma, sleep apnea, seizures, any heart condition?
He had acid reflux when he was little.
And that kind of took care of itself?
I think he was on medication for it for a little bit, but I don't really know. Because, I didn't have him. So.
Okay. But it really wasn't an issue when he was back
he was gaggy. Oh, no. He grew out of that once he was 2, I'd say, probably.
Okay. All right. Any exposure to secondhand smoke?
I don't really know, as far as I go, no.
Okay.
But I don't know because, I know Gina and Phil smoke cigarettes. Well, Gina did. She kind of, told me not to tell Phil that she smoked cigarettes because he didn't want her smoking cigarettes. So I don't really know.
Okay. What had Judah had any vaccination in the last 72 hours to your knowledge? Okay. Had he been vaccinated? Was he up to date?
I believe so. He was due for his 4-year checkup, but I wasn't able to do that because we went to Virginia and then the plates expired on the van, and then Alan got arrested for driving my car and blowing the motor in it, so we didn't have a vehicle to get anywhere.
Okay. So, except for the 4-year, but it's not like super late because he just turned 4 in the summer, right?
Yep, he literally just turned 4 in June.
Was he breastfed as a baby or formula?
I tried for like 3 months, but then the placement he was at, because he was allowed to stay with me at placement, because I was living with like my best friend's mom, and she was placement for him, and she, like, DCS gave permission for me to live there, but then me and her got into it, and she had him taken from her house.
Okay.
So after that, it was kind of like,
Then it moved to formula.
I would assume so, yeah.
Okay. Is there anything else about Judah that I would need to know just about him in general? Like any behavioral issues, any...
He said that he was talking to something in the closet,
Okay.
and that kind of scared me a little bit, because the things that he would say were very, just very odd, I guess. And it was stuff that even made me uncomfortable.
Okay.
Like, I believe in God, and I also believe in other things as well, and it scared me because the way that he talked about it was like it was something that was not of God.
Do you have like anything in specific, like
He
that
said
sticks
that
out?
it stayed in the closet and it was telling him to do bad things,
Okay.
and he couldn't tell it to stop
Okay.
because it was bigger than him,
Okay.
and it scared him. So he listened to it.
Okay. Did he say what bad things he wanted him to do?
Not listen, go to that kind of stuff.
Okay.
So, because I had asked him one time why, because he was playing in the kids' room, and I had seen him talking to something,
Okay.
and I walked in there and asked him what was going on, and he like kind of told me. Like, he had a name for it. He called it Shoe.
Did you describe what Shoe looked like? Just that it was bigger than him?
Like, I had looked up like something, and basically he pointed out a picture of what he said it looked like, and it was supposedly one of the demons from hell.
Okay.
Which is what really scared me.
Okay.
And I don't know if that's, what it was, because kids have, wild imaginations. But I was afraid that, maybe there was something that was bothering him and I didn't know how to fix it, like, I'm not a priest, I'm not God, I can't, like, I don't.
And if you couldn't see it, there's not much that you could do either.
Right.
How long had he been talking to this shoer, this person in the closet?
So it started off like, I don't really remember when it started. It was a while, like a long time ago, but it wasn't like, it didn't start, because at first we thought that Shoe was just like an imaginary friend, like we didn't really think anything of it, but then it started becoming like a problem.
Okay.
Like, not like a problem, but like he would like go stand by the closet and talk into the closet, and it was just really weird. And like, I guess I'd asked him, I'm sorry, I was so tired.
That's fine.
I guess had asked him what it was or where he goes or whatever. And like, I had said something about like he had told that he didn't like anyone else in the house.
This Shoe?
Yes.
Okay.
That he was like, he hated everyone in the house, especially me and his dad. Well, apparently, especially me, because I believe in God, and that bothered me because there was nothing that I could do to protect my son from something like that. Evidently, I can't protect my kid from anything.
So this has been going on, would you say, a couple of months?
For some months, yes.
Would you say a year or like 6 months?
I would say closer. I don't really know like for sure, but I'd say closer like 6 months.
Okay, so it's been like a consistent thing for 6 months,
Yeah.
right?
Well, it's not like an everyday thing, but like it's, you know.
It wasn't one time 6 months ago?
No.
Okay.
No. It's we've had conversations about that like 5 times at least.
Okay.
But nothing like it wasn't like every day.
Okay.
You know, but it was.
But it was definitely something that was going on with him.
Well, I was considering having him taken to like a psychiatrist to maybe see if there was like an issue with schizophrenia or something.
And him being so young, they would have never diagnosed him with that.
Yeah.
Since we're talking about schizophrenia, is that a cause for concern in the family? Does anyone have any mental illness on mom or dad's side?
Well, I have anxiety, depression, bipolar, and then I was diagnosed with ODD when I was 12.
Okay.
Which I think that's why it pissed me off when Alan got frustrated with him, because I feel like a lot of there's a lot of me in him. And my parents weren't exactly nice to me either. So the fact that I was basically my mom not protecting him like I should have pissed me off, because I always told myself I would never be like my mom. And now I'm worse, because.
So with Alan, has he ever has he put his hands on you?
On me? Oh, yeah.
Has the children seen it?
He didn't really like do it in front of them. There was a couple of times, like one time I don't remember what it was about, but he had choked me out on the side of the couch, and I was standing like right there, and I was there, and I was crying, and I was crying.
Do you know how long ago that was?
A few months ago.
Okay.
Like maybe 4 months ago.
About 4 months ago. Okay. And to your knowledge, the kids hadn't seen anything since that incident?
Not that I know of. I mean, me and him fought a lot. Like, we argued a lot, but he hasn't like physically touched me in a while, you know.
But he has.
Quite a few times, and I never told anybody.
Okay.
And I, again, should have freaking said something.
Is there anything else about Judah that was concerning, or just kind of overall big picture about him?
Besides the fact that I completely failed him.
So he was having just issues defecating and urinating.
And he wouldn't, like, when Alan would ask him a question, he would just sit there and stare at him.
Okay.
Like, stare right in his face. And that pissed Alan off to no end.
Okay.
Like, it frustrated me too, you know, because it's like, I'm trying to help you. Like, okay, so he would have him go sit on the toilet. And he hated when I did this, because I was catering to him. But it's like, I'm trying to, you know, you're too nice to them, you spoil them. Like, no, I'm trying to help them, because I don't want them to go through what I did when I was little. And it's worse, you know? So he didn't like when I, like, sat there and tried to talk to him, and, you know. But see, like, the last time that he had made him go downstairs because he wasn't doing that, I went down there and I had tried to talk to him. And he started, like, explaining to me, like, having a conversation with me. But then as soon as Alan opened the door, he just stopped.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, please, Judah, please don't. Please don't stop talking, because you know it's just going to piss him off.
Mm-hmm.
And he wouldn't talk.
Was he just would he wet the bed at night? Would it be like...
It was all
all
day.
the time?
All the time.
And he refused to use the toilet?
Yes. Like, he would go to the bathroom either on himself or on the floor. And then, like, a little bit later, like, we would give him, like, some water or something to drink. And we'd bring him upstairs, and he would just sit there
Mm-hmm.
and not go. And Alan would, like, I can't say that I didn't get frustrated with him either, but I also didn't do...
Yeah, parenting can be frustrating. No one's denying that, especially when you do have...
Like, I called him stupid. I called him retarded.
Did he have any learning disabilities other than he just kind of couldn't catch on to counting and stuff? Okay.
But regardless, I shouldn't have said that. Like, I don't remember the last time I told him I loved him. And now I'll never be able to fix that. And, like, I remember another reason why Alan got irritated with him was because, I mean, I got frustrated with him too. Like, I took it away, but there was medicine that was because he was struggling to poop. Like, it was super hard. So I'd given Judah some, and he, you know, you can't just give it to them all the time, you know, because if you give it any medicine, like if you give it to them all the time, it's not gonna, you know, do anything. So he had went to the bathroom, and then, like, I was changing his butt, and he had came in the room and said he needed to go potty. Like, he said he needed to poop. So I brought him in the bathroom, and he sat down, and he was like, I need the medicine. I was like, Judah, I'm not giving any to you. You just had some. I'm not giving it to you because it's medicine. It's not candy. You know, like, you gotta understand that. Like, I understand it helps you, but if you don't actually need it, and he had just pooped like a couple hours before. So I told him, if you don't actually need it, then, you know, I'm not gonna give it to you. And then he decided that because I wouldn't give him the medicine, he was gonna start doing it again.
Okay.
So it's like, really, whenever he didn't get what he wanted, he would start doing that.
I guess not quite. I'm just trying to kind of understand, like, if there was an underlying issue with it. That
If there was,
it, like, maybe started, you know, sometimes, like, you have a painful, like, poop. Maybe he didn't want to hurt again, so maybe, or X, Y, and Z.
Well, I tried to ask him, and he didn't want to tell me, or maybe he thought that his dad would hear him telling me, because any time that I was talking to him, like, he would start talking to me, you know? And as soon as he heard his dad, he just completely shut down.
Okay.
And it didn't used to be like that. Like, when, like, everything was, like, starting to end with DCS, like, Alan was the only person he talked to, but that was because, like, me and him weren't, like, close, because he looked at Gina as his mom.
Okay.
You know? And, you know, he didn't feel close to me, but I feel like maybe, you know, he started feeling safer with me because he knew I wouldn't do that stuff to him.
Do you remember when the case closed?
June.
May. Okay, so early summer? Okay. Is that when he started hearing, like, spirits in the closet?
Something around there. Maybe it was, I don't really remember exactly what month it was.
All right. Well, you have my number. If if you call me and I don't answer, just shoot me a text. Do you have like a working phone that you can text me? Okay. So we can get visits sorted out with the kids and all that stuff, okay? So I know the detectives will want to talk to you and get a statement. I just wanted to make sure that I went over just the history of him as an infant and onward. And then we just ask every parent to submit a drug screen just to make sure that there was no impairment. Okay, do you have any questions for me? Okay, if you do, feel free to contact me, okay?
Okay.
All right, thank you, Mary.
Hi, Mary. Okay, so we're gonna take you back to the hospital. Okay. What are we doing from there? You're probably gonna meet with Morgan and be able to see Cohen. And after that, we'll figure it out.
Can I ask you a really stupid question?
Yeah.
I know this is probably like not appropriate, because I know you're like technically in uniform.
Okay.
But I really need a hug right now.
Oh.
I want to thank you all for watching. This is the end of part 1. Watch part 2 here. We have a lot more on the way, so make sure you're subscribed, and we will see you in the next one.